And we got a whole lot of wrecking going on here at the Palace of Motorsports, Indianapolis. Brickyard. FSB Racing Pro Cup. Wednesday nights. Welcome. And as I said, we are at the famous Indianapolis Motor Speedway tonight. There we are, the canyon as they call it, pit lane in all its glory, with the front stretch, the giant pylon. Yeah, this is it. Who will be kissing the bricks tonight is what we all want to know. But first, let's recap. Points leaders. Troy Higgins on top with a 9-point lead. Jeff Hale on second with just 11 points back. You can see it's a tight field, 30 points separating the top 13. So very competitive Pro Cup start to the season here. Indianapolis is a track that I think it's a love-hate kind of track. Some guys are very comfortable in this type of track. Some guys do not feel as comfortable, and that can play a role here in the points, as we see here also a red around Robert Bokum. Robert is traveling right now, but he has been racing regularly, and he did drop out in the meeting, I noticed, before we came on the air, and now he's white, so good. I'm glad to see that. I was about to say, I hope he's not going to miss this race for maybe some kind of internet glitch, but nope, he's back, and hopefully he gets squared up, and he'll be good to go. But here's our standings. Very few elected to qualify. I think this was a track where guys might want to do a little start from the back and feel it out kind of thing. 56 laps here at the 2.5 mile Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Mark DeSenza on the pole, Dave Jandry outside pole. Teammate Sean Johnson will start right behind Mark in the second row. Pops Marguson on the outside. And there we see Robert, Jeff Hale, third row, and Troy and Joe Cutt rounding out row 4. And then the rest did not take times. Jim, Bossman Ray, and we'll start ninth. Ken Ron, Sam Young, and the rest of them who elected not to qualify, and they'll be anchored by Troy Higgins, our points leader. So Troy, points leader, will be starting from the back. So interesting move by Troy, not electing to qualify, and you see the pit car, or excuse me, the pace car on pit lane. So let's ride with Mark DeSenza, our pole sitter. Let's take a look at the starting order. There's Mark DeSenza. He'll be in our pole sitter, starting right there on the inside lane. And right next to him, Dave Jandry, the 51 Budweiser Impala. Dave's having a great season so far and qualifying very well. And I wish I could qualify well. I think that's a key to clean starts and establishing your pace. Sometimes in the middle of the pack, you're busy battling right off the get-go, whether you like it or not, and that can have bad effects throughout the race, if you know what I mean. There's our second row there, Sean Johnson, Pops Marguson, Robert Bokum, Jeff Hale in our next row. Then there we see T-Roy in the Grey Goose Vodka Fusion. And there's Bossman Jim Ray, Ken Ron right beside him. Bokum Motorsports, there we see Sam Young, Predator, Advision Impala. Bill Weber there, rounding out our field. These guys did not qualify. And then we see Guy Petra, 69 to Doug Tevick. And there's our points leader. Shotgun on the field, the 19 to Troy Higgins. There we see our FSB Chevy Camaro pace car. Lights are off, of course, so that means we're going to get ready to go racing. And we should have a good one here. As I said, 56 laps. That is equivalent to a 35% race. Most Pro Cup races, 40%. But due to the nature of the track here, in an effort to keep races timely for East Coasters, a 35% race here at Indy, but nonetheless it will be competitive. Where we see our points leader way in the back in the Twitter car, and he's probably doing some tweets right now. That's why he wanted to line up in the back. He's got his phone out. He's doing some tweets in the car. Maybe he's handicapping the field. I like the 6 car. How can you not like him? He's fast. He starts on the pole. He knows how to run here very well. He looks very comfortable in practice. Boca Motorsports, as you see, Sean Johnson's there, and Robert Bochum's there. So they're already ready to go and team up and do what they do best. Dave Jandry on the outside is going to have his hands full. Of course, Dave also with the help of teammate Jeff Hale, and I fully expect those two to look to team up in an effort to fend off the strong Boca Motorsports team, which is well represented in this field, and they drive this track incredibly well. And we got green flag racing, and we're underway here at Indianapolis. I'm not going to sing the Jim Neighbors song. I'll leave that to Milty when we hit there, possibly in Winston Cup. I'm not sure of the full schedule, so if we do go there, though, Milty will be more than happy to sing you that song, but I'm not going to torture people. But Mark DeSenza's torturing the field with a shootout right there, and he leads Dave Jandry, getting ready to complete lap 1 here at Indianapolis. And everyone trying to line up here. Dave Jandry from the outside front row has assumed his second position. Sean Johnson, who was inside there, of course, doing the same. Then there's a gap to Robert Bochum and Pops Markuson right there, as everyone seems to be getting underway fine. Troy Higgins crossing the bricks. And there's Dave Jandry's teammate, Jeff Hale, getting into 1. Basically four corners, but they're not full corners as you would think of them in a traditional oval. This is a very unique layout, very long straightaways. Drafting will play a big role here. But then, as you see, as they get into the turn here, they come out to what we call the short chutes, and then back down into the next turn, and then back onto the long straightaways. Got to be good here off the turns. You want to be a little more gentle getting into 1 and 3, as you want to be able to power off with your foot fully down, coming off to carry that speed down, coming out of 2 and 4. Going down the back stretch and going down that narrow front stretch, which we will hopefully not see to be a factor. But as we always know here at Indy, if you're familiar with it, that inside, the front straight in the pit lane wall makes it almost what they call the canyon, and it feels like you're surrounded by walls and there's only a little space for the car to go on the track. So when there's incidents there, it can really stack up a field with these speeds. So we'll see if that comes into play in this race, as everyone seems to be doing very well. Troy Higgins there picking up a position. Guy Petra, Sam Young, and Doug Tevick, and Steve Weber. And there we see rookie Michael Galone. And there's Joe Cutt. So everyone off to a clean start. Our leader continues to be the 6 car, Mark DeSenza. And there we see your running order there. Also, thank you to NRT. NRT is partnered with the league here and provided this ticker that you see at the bottom, so you can follow your favorite driver and their distance behind the leader. Of course, if they're a lap down, I'll also show you that. Also in the top right corner is also the more stable running order, and you can see the entire top 10 there, and they're course, their distance from the leader as well, but you also get to see his speed there. You can see with a full green flag, 5 laps in, you see Mark DeSenza's average speed, 179.017. And as he completes laps, you're going to see that go up a little more, and so that tells you the speed here at Indy in these big, heavy stock cars. The Brickyard real race was just run, and a lot of people are not impressed with the stock cars running at Indy. Of course, sim racing a little more fun for these guys because it is Indy, and how many people get a chance to even simulate racing on the most famous American track, maybe Daytona, everyone knows for stock cars, but Indy, of course, is just a race for racing. People who love racing have to love Indy and its history and everything that it does. Formula One, of course, the Indianapolis 500, but the road course, the sports cars run there. A lot of stuff goes on at Indy. And a lot of stuff going on here in the front. Mark DeSenza got out to a great start. He's got a nice, comfortable half-second lead here over Dave Jandry. Sean Johnson's content to just stay with Dave right here, and they're just log-in laps here. We'll see what kind of mileage they get. I seem to recall it's somewhere in the 17, 18 lap range. I'll see, of course, if we stay green, and we'll see what lap that actually is, and then we can start calculating immediately, as these guys have already started doing. They receive the 18 of Robert Bokum in 4th place, and you see you can get an idea here following Robert of the distance between himself and the top 3, and so there is a little gap there, and Robert has managed to pull away from the 99 of Pops Marguson a little, but Pops does have help behind him, and 2 cars usually are faster than 1 car at Indy, and there's the 29 of Jeff Hale that's coming up behind Pops, so those 2 are going to set sail against Robert to see if they can get him. There we see boss man Jim Ray right behind Jeff, and I think he's thinking the same thing. He'll just stay in touch with the draft with Jeff and see where that takes him. And, of course, fuel strategy and tires will play a role here if we stay green. Shorter field than maybe you'd like to see in Pro Cup, but nonetheless, about 16, I believe 16 guys are in it to win it. And yes, there we go, 16 guys. You see the back half of the field there, led by Troy Higgins. So Troy started shotgun on the field, and he has steadily made progress. So very impressive drive so far for Troy Higgins, up to 11th. And maybe that's what he had in mind. He's just going to take it easy, going to get those tires warmed up, and seeing how the car feels. And if it's faster than the guy in front of him, he'll take that position. If it's not, can be content to ride. And as I say that, we see we're getting some action here as Troy makes the pass. Troy passing Troy. That's Troy Higgins passing T-Roy. And he continues to make steady progress up the field. So very nice drive so far by our points leader, Troy Higgins. Going back up to the front, we see Sean Johnson is right on the back bumper of Dave Jandry, possibly Dave scraping the wall a little there, and it looks like he scraped it again as Sean gets around him. So Dave coming out of the turn there, maybe got a little squirrely. It looked like just barely brushed the wall, but at Indy the speeds are enough. Sean got enough of a run to get around him. So Mark DeSenza, Sean Johnson, 1-2, teammate, Boca Motorsports. Mark now knows, of course, that Sean got around him, so we'll Mark drag the brake a little and let Sean catch up so they can do a little better drafting, or will Mark run his own race? he's the leader. He's going to make that decision what's best for his car too, of course. Sean making a nice move around Dave Jandry. It's very difficult to pass here in Indy competitively. A lot of give and take is needed generally. If you see a guy on the inside of you going down the straightaway, and they're you know they get up to your door, you're pretty much obliged on the outside to kind of give that position to the inside guy, because going in too wide here at Indy is a bad recipe for both cars. So we'll see how that progresses as we see side-by-side racing a little past Jim Ray, and there's Troy Higgins in the 19, and the 17 of T-Roy now making a move on Pops. And there we see Ken Ron and the 151 of Guy Petra, and almost a little contact there between the 303 and the 99. Just a little teensy-tiny or none at all. So no harm, no foul there. It looks like Pops is losing a few positions, though. I'm thinking 12 laps. If my number was right, about 17. This could be when, you know, if you're a little abusive on your tires, they could be going away from you slightly. And here at Indy, if your tires are going away, you got to lift just a little more than you would on your nice sticky tires that you're really wanting right about now. But you have to keep going for track position. It plays a huge role here at Indy. There we see the 88 of Joe Cutt. Of course, toward the back of the field, that's a good move by Joe Cutt. When you're in the back of the field and you're maybe thinking of going a lap down just because your car isn't right, best thing to do is get in the pits, get the fresh tires immediately. You'll turn faster laps than hopefully the leaders will, so you won't lose any more ground once you get out. And then, of course, eventually the leaders will pit, and if you have figured it out a little better in this last run, you have better tires, maybe you can make up that ground. That's what you have to do if you're in the back. So we'll see if Joe Cutt's fresh tires help him out here. DeSenza is our leader as we see him going down the backstretch here at Indy. Very long backstretch here. Sean Johnson continues to run in second. It was about a half-second lead over Dave Jandry before the pass. Now it's a little over that now with Sean in second. So not a lot of change there at the front. There's Dave Jandry now in third, and just comfortable, I think, now to ride to the green flag stop that he's fully expecting to happen any time now. We continue to look back in the field. There we see Robert Pokum, and there's Jeff Hale coming up behind him. So Jeff running a good race, trying to get up to his teammate. Maybe that will give Dave Jandry a little boost there if they can get him together with his teammate. And as I said, two cars are always better than one here. And Jeff started a little further back in the field. He's making a nice run here. There we see the 96 Jim Ray looking to make steady progress as well. Jim started 9th. He's up to 6th. T-Roy started shotgun 16th. He's up to 7th. T-Roy is our fast mover of the race so far here at Indianapolis as we're closing in on green flag stops. There we see Doug Tevick going to the inside of Pops Margison. And Doug takes the position, gets up a little high in doing it, and that's the difficulty of Indy. Even a friendly pass is challenging. And Doug made a nice clean pass. It continues on. He's trying to catch the back bumper there. Sam Young in the 98, right in front of Doug. Then we see the 83 of Steve Weber. Joe Cutt already in the pits there. We see Joe Cutt one lap down. Last car on the lead lap, and I was showing the 96, so I'm assuming Jim Ray in the pits, and yes, he is, and there he comes out of the pits. We'll follow him out. There's an access road here. You got to follow it all the way around to the back stretch, and then you can merge on. And there we go, and then it kind of just throws you out right onto the backstretch. And Jim resumes after his green flag stop. Let's keep going up to the leaders here. and see what they're thinking. There we see our leader of the race still, Mark DeSenza, lap 16, and he's staying out. So one more lap for Mark DeSenza, one more lap for Sean Johnson at least, one more lap for Dave Jandry. Seems like a lot of guys staying out so far. Of course, there we see Jim on those fresh tires really making hay, and this is what I mean. If for whatever reason you were abusive because you had to avoid someone, so you might have locked it down momentarily and it chewed your tires up momentarily or prematurely, that you couldn't get that full run, it makes no sense to try to fight it and stay out and run poor lap time after poor lap time and lose time to the leader. Get in, get the fresh tires, and then you're going to be driving what you're capable of, because if you'll have those big advantage over these guys. And you see Jim closing in on Robert Bokum right now. Robert's our 4th place driver right now, but you can see that the fresh tires make a giant difference. Jim Ray takes the inside position, so Jim looking to get back his lap the old-fashioned way, and we see some pit stops now occurring. There's Dave Jandry coming down pit lane, the 29, Jeff Hale. So teammates have elected, they're communicating, of course, and that's what good teams do. So the 29 and the 51 pitting together, and I'm sure they'll try to hook up. And there we see also the 17 of T-Roy in, 19 of Troy Higgins in. He's got done with his service. There we see the 6th car of Mark DeSenza coming into the pits. So everyone fully under green flag stops right now. Sean Johnson locks it down, and that's you got to be careful there, because you can flatten a tire, and that could be an issue. And you see teammate Robert Bokum going around Sean because of that lockdown. It's possible Sean has a flat tire here. We'll follow Sean. We can maybe tell from the pit stop if he had a flat tire. Sometimes the time that it takes to raise the car up is a little longer than normal. So let's see as we follow Sean into the pits. And does look like all the tires are there, so just a lockdown there. And there we see all Bokum Motorsports 6, 5, and 18. There we see the 6, our leader, he's out in the way. The 18's out in the way. 98 of Sam Young also out in the way. There's the 5 of Sean Johnson. So that was not the greatest pit stop for Sean. And you can see some scrapage there on the side of his car. So he has been into the wall as well. So Sean doesn't look like he spent any time fixing damage. Hopefully there is no damage, even though there may be visual. I don't know if that means it automatically means there is damage. But everyone's going through the green flag stops here at lap 20 now. And we see everyone still trying to sort themselves out. There we see the 96 car. He's showing in 8th place. Crosses the line, update those numbers, and now 96 Jim Ray showing in 3rd place. So the 7 car yet to pit. And there we see the 7 car of rookie Mike Galoon. And there he comes in, locking them up. It looks like, wow, he locked those up. Hopefully no penalty. Do not want to get penalized there at Indy. Longest pit lane in the game. 55 miles an hour is agony when you're doing 180s and 190s on the track. Yeah, he's locking up those tires. He used those tires up. Lap 21 he comes in, so he was really able to milk those tires and fuel. Nice job by the 7 car there. There we see the rest of the running order. Mark DeSenza will assume the lead. Let's see where the 7 comes out now as he exits pit lane. Let's hope he didn't get a penalty as well. We never want to see a guy get penalized, especially employing a strategy here. He fully appeared to make an effort to stay out as long as possible, and that's what he did. And now he rejoins, and there you see, got to stay in that little lane all the way around this corner, and it can be hairy on cold tires. You get in that grass just a little, and it screws you up. But here he comes out, and there we see the 51 of Dave Jandry zipping by him, but do not see Dave Jandry. He's showing. Let's see when Mike gets around where he'll come out. You see he's in the back there, but the 51 car did get around him. And there we see. So he came in with the lead, and he comes out, and he's 37 seconds down from our leader, which is no surprise here. It's the 6-car Mark DeSenza having a great drive so far. We're on lap 23 of 56, so we're about five laps away from the halfway point. All green so far, and that's what we like about Pro Cup racing, is all green. 19 of Troy Higgins, as I said, I guess I'm a broken record here. Shotgun on the field, and he's up to second. Just 2.8 seconds off of leader Mark DeSenza. 29 of Jeff Hale, up to third. Boss man Jim Ray, solid fourth. Actually now a solid fifth, as the 18 car has gotten around him. And now Sam closing up. Of course, Sam and Jim, teammates of Team FSB Racing. So I'm sure there's a good communication going on between the two. If Jim, member, was an early pitter, Sam a little later. So Sam does have fresher tires. And as I said, even if it's just 5 laps here at Indy, 5-lap newer tires are faster than 5-lap older tires, and that's just the way it is in Indy. It's tough on tires with these 4 turns and high-speed entries that you take coming down these long, as I said, these incredibly long front straightaway and backstretch, and with drafting, a lot of speed going into these turns. So the tires take abuse here, and we're starting to see that, an early stop. Let's see now if Jim can extend this second stint, assuming that this stays green. It really has a green look to it here at Indy. There's some gaps now opening up. There we see Jim is just 3 seconds behind the leader, but then there's a 4-second gap to Guy Petra. And there we see the 151 of Guy Petra desperately trying to claw his way back to that nearly 4-second gap. And then another gap between Guy and the 17 of T-Roy and the 303 of Ken Ron. So 2 cars trying to run down Guy Petra with about a 2.5-second lead, though, over him. And there we see the 69 of Doug Tevick also trying to keep a hold of the guys in front of him, less than a second at the line. Looks like he's a little better now. Looks like he's a little closer than that now. So Doug hitching onto that draft is only going to help those 3 maybe claw down these single guys. And that's what you want to do when you're not in contact with the leaders immediately. You can see Doug about 10, there was that pack about 10 to 11 seconds behind. Laps in Indy, about 49 seconds. So you can see that what that means in type of distance here at Indy, 2.5 mile. So that's something to consider. As we see the rest of the field all kind of hung out by themselves. We see Mark DeSenza, our leader, has out to over a 2.5 second lead, and he's looking very fast by himself here. The second and third place cars, Troy Higgins and Jeff Hale, are nose to tail. And you can see that this pack here may be developing between these four cars. That would be the 19 of Troy Higgins, the 29 of Jeff Hale, and then we see the 18 and the 98. We can see if these four should catch one. And we'll see if that's the case here. 2.4 seconds is our gap between our leader and second place Troy Higgins. Jeff Hale right behind him, Robert Welcome right behind him, and there's Sam in striking distance, I think, here. And as I said, we saw pit stops on like I said, about let's say lap 18 and 19. So 18 and 18 is 36 laps. So we should have about 8 to 9 laps left in this run. There we see the boss man coming in already. So again, Jim having to pit early. So 2 pit stops, 29 laps. So that's a 15 lap stints here, which you'd like to see more than that, really, if you can help it. Of course, if you know your own lap times, and if you start losing time, you got to get in. So Jim will do that, and we'll see where that takes him. Joe Cutt also in. Remember, Joe Cutt was one of our early pit stops as well. And speaking of not early pit stops, to go from early to not early, that 7 car stayed out past lap 20 into lap 21. So if I do his math, he's looking at about a lap 40 pit stop. But of course, if I work my way backwards, and if I give him 20 laps, he can pit on lap 36, and he'll be able to go the rest of the way if he can do the same kind of fuel that he did before. So that could be interesting. That could be maybe possibly one less stop for him. Let's see how that plays out. We see Jim joining the fray again. There we see our leader, Mark DeSenza, 2.3 seconds. He was about 2.4, so not a whole lot of gain into that lead. But those 3 cars are hanging in there nose to tail, so you would think that they would be going slightly faster than 1 car, but that just shows you the speed of Mark DeSenza tonight. And there we see the 29 car, Jeff Hale, comes abruptly in the pit lane, locks it down hard, crossing the line. Let's see how that works out for him. He looked kind of fast. Really no way I could rewind it. We could take a look at the speed, but not going to do that with green flag conditions. 31 laps here complete, all green so far here at Indy. FSB Racing Pro Cup at Indianapolis, the Brickyard. And we're watching the 29 of Jeff Hale in the pits. And the start of green flag stops, Jim Ray has been in, the 88 of Joe Cutter's in, now the 29 of Jeff Hale is in. There we see a teammate of Jeff Hale, the 51 of Dave Jandries. We see a car up against the wall here, so the caution is out. That's the 17 of Troy Higgins. So our first caution, Jeff Hale in the pits, so we'll have to see how that affects him. And there we see T-Roy just did not turn. Obviously a connection issue from T-Roy there. Just smashed head on into the wall, made no effort to turn. Caution is out, of course, and now we see him running again, so I'm not sure what happened there for T-Roy. But a really unfortunate break. If it was just like a slight disconnect or a warp or something there, but T-Roy just ran head on into the wall there, and I know he didn't mean to do that. So we're on lap 32 of 56. Mark DeSenza is our leader. He'll stack up the field, and we'll see everyone coming in. Jim Ray, let's check this. Did Jim Ray a lap down? So we got 3 cars a lap down here. So they did get up. Jeff Hale managed to stay on the lead lap, so he'll stay out, and I believe he'll be our leader. So let's watch pit stops, and let's see how that shakes out here as we watch the dance that is the pit stop. The 6, the 19, the 18, and the 98. Those were our lead 4 cars when the caution came out, so they're all coming down at the same time. Of course, Troy Higgins electing not to qualify has the last pit. Sam has about a middle pit, and Robert and Mark DeSenza have early pits. Of course, Mark DeSenza, our pole sitter, has the prime real estate there in the front. 2 tires on. You see Robert Bokum there in the back there. He's done. He's coming out. 6 cars also coming out, and he will take it, and they kind of come in and come out the same way. 69 out. 303's out. There we see our next batch of cars in. Of course, T-Roy with some damage there. The 51 now is out. So Dave Jandry will be able to gather up the field. So a good break for Dave Jandry. Let's hope the damage isn't too bad for T-Roy, and he'll be able to stay competitive here. Looking at the running order here, the 151, the 5 to 83 are shown as our top 3. And it appears the 96 of Jim Ray is on the tail end of the lead lap. Looking at the timer there, you see he's minus a minute 37, but you can see that our leader is the 151 of Guy Petra, who is showing in the second spot here, the second in the running order. But he is our leader, the 151. The 96 is on the tail end, but he is electing the pit, so he'll lose that tail end. And yeah, as Jim pits if you pit from the tail end, of course the leader goes by you, and you become a lap down, and that's what happened. Of course, we have 3 cars a lap down: the 99 of Pops Markison, the 96 car, boss man Jim Ray, the 88 of Joe Cutt. They'll be able to start, of course, on the inside line up at the front of the field, so they could easily with that inside line get ahead of the leader and again become tail end of the lead lap. And if another caution comes out, they'd get the benefit of the doubt there if they were ahead of the leader, and then once they cross the start finish line, they would be allowed to pass the pace car basically and gain back all that ground. And at India, that's a lot of ground. Lap 34 of 56, as we saw, only 1 car I think got 20 laps. So still doing the math, you're at 22 here, but caution is still out. Cars are lap downs, which will add 1 caution lap. So I would think clutching here is the order of the day. And that might spell an interesting dilemma for those guys that elected not to pit, which, looking at the running order, we see the 6 car did pit, so only 2 cars elected not to pit, the 151 and the 29. But they pitted right at the caution, so their tires are just as new. So great break for Jeff there. He was able to get in and out and keep on the lead lap, and that's impressive to do. It's not easy to do, and he did that, and he's going to get rewarded. Now we see some still pitting here, because I think this is, like I said, 20 laps is the most we saw, and we're at 22. Caution is still out, of course. And there we see some prominent cars in pit lane. And 18 is in. 303's in. 17's back in. The 5 car Sean Johnson's in. 83's in. And yes, the 151 did elect to get fuel and tires now. So drove around, led a couple laps, got that bonus point. Good job by Guy. In the 151, that's what you got to do here in Pro Cup. Every point is precious, and a bonus point is even sweeter. And it doesn't matter if it's under caution or green flag or whatever. Doesn't matter. When you're in Pro Cup and you lead a lap, that's a good thing. You've earned it, and he did it, and he got his bonus point. So, and I think by topping up here, these guys should be able to go the rest of the way. It's a question of tires, maybe. But we'll see. They'll all start here on the back end of this field. As we go back up to the front, we see the lights are out on the pace car. Lap 35. We'll take the green at starting lap 36. So we'll see. We'll see. Being out front, you use a little more fuel. If there's a draft, you use a little less fuel. So sometimes the person out front and looking at this running order, we see that Pops is showing on the tail end of the lead lap. So that's why he's starting on the inside. Jim Ray a lap down, and the 88 a lap down on the inside. So basically those 3 cars are wanting to stay ahead of the 29 car, who we see is starting on the outside of row 2. So Joe Cutt and Jim Ray on the bottom, lap down. Pops Marguson showing basically tail end of the lead lap. And we're green flag, and away we go. The 96 needs to get going if he's going to want to stay in contact with these leaders here. We thunder into turn 1. Jim goes a little high and a little squirrely, but looks like everyone has managed. Joe Cutt did a great job there, not losing it as well, but there we see contact, and Doug Tevick hard into the wall. And caution is back out. Caution back out. Caution back out. Lap 36. So now strategy is probably out the window. Let's take a look here at the restart. Of course, Jim got a little squirrely in front of these guys, and could be evasive accidents. I'm checking up here in the back. Let's see what happens here. No, unfortunately, Doug just got in a little high. Came back in front, the 17 into the wall. Looked like taking evasive action. But everyone else seemed to get okay. Doug manages to get going as well. So hopefully he doesn't have too bad a damage, and you can get it fixed, stay on the lead lap, and of course there's still a lot of racing. That's a full fuel run we're looking at still. So of course when we go green, it'll be like, let's say, 80% of a fuel run. So plenty of laps here at Indy, as long as you're not damaged and you can hang on to the draft. 29 of Jeff Hales, our leader. 6 of Mark Stenz is second. 19 of Troy Higgins third, and 98 of Sam Young. Dave Jandry rounding out our top 5. Caution is out, of course, here. And we'll move on to the front of the field and see. We shouldn't have any takers, I wouldn't think, on pit lane right now. But maybe we will. Let's see. Yeah. Maybe I was wrong. Yes, it looks like everyone. No, Robert Bokum said no, I'm not going down. 96 stays out. 98 stays out. 88 stays out. 18, 7. So some elected to come in, some elected to stay out. The top 2 have elected to come in. Let's see if they take tires here, or is it going to be fuel only. We'll watch the 29 just pitting. There we see the 6. So Jeff Hale, they're taking 2 tires. Will he just be a 2 tire only? No, 4 full tires. So it doesn't appear anyone gambling here. 29 up and away. So is the 6. And Mark DeSenza will keep that position. That first pit stall always pays dividends, and you earn them with a pole, and you do earn poles here. Tonight maybe was a little exception with so few qualifiers. Most guys do qualify, unless they get in late and maybe don't feel enough comfort with enough practice time. They may elect to start in the back just so they're not involved in anything prematurely. But track position here might play a factor. Jim Ray electing to stay out. So let's take a look here at the running order. By Jim Ray staying out, he becomes, like I said, a tail end of the lead lap car. The 88 Joe Cutter is lapped down. So in this scenario, if Jim does not pit, and we'll follow him up here and see what he elects to do. Jim really was just in the pits right before this caution, so tires shouldn't be anywhere near needing any kind of freshening. Of course, he elects to come in, as does the 88 Joe Cutt, so they'll start on the inside of Sam Young. It looks like will be our leader, and Robert Bokum second. Jim and Joe Cutt will be the first cars a lap down, so they'll start on the inside line. There we see Jeff Hale. There we see the 19 of Troy Higgins, and the 7 car electing to go in as well. So some guys still pitting and topping up here. Little change of tires. There we see the 83 in, 303. There we see the 96, of course. The 88 of Joe Cutt, 17T Roy is in as well. Sean Johnson also in. So the whole shebang is coming in on this lap. Looked like fuel only for Sean, so he gets out quickly. Some scrambling around here as we hit lap 39. Inside of 20 laps now, 17 to go. And 98 Sam Young is really surging lately. Sam really showing some driving prowess, to use a big word. I believe he won the nationwide race earlier this evening, which is a great win. He's always a threat to win in short track. Super speedway lately, he's really showing a lot of strength. So Sam really rounding out his game here. Pro Cup, short track, you name it, and Sam's really been having a lot of success here. So this could be a great battle here between the 98, the 18, and the 6, who has led a bunch of laps. Let's not count out the 29 and 19. So this top 5 is just really impressive, and it's going to be a great finish here as the laps still wind down. Lights are still on, so we'll only have about roughly 16 to 15 to 16 laps to go here once we get started again, and that's basically no problem for tires. So you could be a little more aggressive now and not worry about wearing them out with the amount of laps remaining. And Robert Bokum, of course, is one of the best at saving tires, but he's also the best at when it's go time. And I think when the green flag flies, he's going to say it's go time. And if Sam isn't ready for a quick charge, I think Robert might be able to take advantage of that and get around him, and then force the rest of the field to pass him, which is always a task. But we'll see the cars of Jim Ray and Joe Cutt come up to the front with Sam on the outside, Jim Ray on the inside, to take this green flag. Lights are out on the pace car. Agonizingly slow under pace conditions. So no retirements from this race so far. Very impressive. All 16 cars still running. Only 2 cars a lap down. We're about to see with 15 laps to go who's got the best ride. The 6 cars led a ton of laps today. He has been, in my opinion, the best car. I'd say 1, Mark DeCenzo, 1A, Troy Higgins. And then how you want to count them right now in the running order. Sam, of course, with this lead is a very big threat to run away with it. He's very fast, and he's going to stay fast. And with no one in front of him, he won't be shy to keep his foot down on the gas. Robert Bochum, of course, winner in everything under the sun when it comes to FSB and NR 2003 in his various other leagues that he races in and competes in, and he's a winner everywhere he goes, and he's going to be very difficult to reckon with here for the 98 car, especially with teammate support. The 6 of Mark DeCenza right there with his leader Robert Bochum as they go into 1, and we don't want to see any contact here. And Joe Cut got a little loose. Guys come swinging out of that turn and down the back straightaway, coming out of 2 there. Doug Tevick with a great run there, makes a pass. That's a pass. That's a major league pass there by Doug, especially after coming back now from the spin. But Dave Jandry comes right back onto his back bumper, and there's Joe Cut, the 88 car, who is a lap down. And we got Sam going backwards here. I don't know if there's a caution out. It looks like there is a caution out. And don't know what happened with Sam there. He was our leader. We were watching some good racing there in the back of the field, and let's take a look here. Never see Sam lead us off. We'll just follow Sam here and see what happened to him. There we see the almost contact between Jim Ray and Robert Bochum, and it looked like Joe Cut took a little evasive action there, just in case there was a wreck. It didn't happen, but it hurt his ability to keep his speed up and allowed a lot of guys to get around him. There we see the 96 of Jim Ray just going right around. Getting pushed by the 18 of Robert Bochum, who goes into the lead. And there's a 6 car of Mark DeCenza. Jim gets a little squirrely there, and Sam and Mark get together. And that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. And then there we see some racing to the line. So a little incident there between the 98 and the 6. Let's see if the 6 is okay. 6 is not on the track. So it looks like he's not okay. And we'll see here on our board that the 18 car is our leader. And if we go back, we see that the 6 car has unfortunately retired from the incident. That's too bad. He had a solid car tonight. He was fast in the beginning, led a bunch of laps, but just a little contact, and that's all it takes with these speeds at Indy. And we're on lap 43 of 56, so just 13 laps remaining now as we get very close to the end there. And it looks like Jim was able to stay ahead of Robert and get that lap back. So 14 cars on the lead lap, unfortunately. One retiree, Mark DeSenza. And the 88 of Joe Cutter remains one lap down. And it's possible there might be a 10-lap rule in effect here. We're tight to it. The lights are still on the pace car, so there'll be still a couple of laps before that decision. But meaning if there is, and Joe is in anywhere but the final car, and even if he is, they do ask, and it is a rule here in FSB, that any cars either on the tail end or on lap down pit the second time around and allow lead lap cars to get ahead of you. You aren't required to make a pit stop per se. You don't have to change tires or do anything. You can drive through, but it's just to allow the lead lap cars to have that final battle to the end and respect that. And I think it's a great rule. I think it's a it's a sportsmanship rule, and you figure if there's only a few laps left in your lap down, you most likely won't be able to get it back anyways, and be able to gain any more than you would be one lap down. So that's the way it is here at FSB Racing. So the 18 of Robert Bokum is our leader. The lap down car, Joe Cutter, is the only car lap down. And as we scroll through the field, you see the 98 of Sam Young, and the 83 and 7 and 96 there, last car in the lead lap. And there we see the 88 getting fresh tires, and 17 following them out. So T. Roy, who had a little damage earlier on, and the 88 of Joe Cutter coming out of the pits. Of course, Joe with the lap down. Of course, being the only car lap down, you have no reason not to take fresh tires here. Not affecting your position whatsoever. You see the lights still on the pace car. Let's see. If they shut off at the next time we cross the bricks here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. FSB Racing, thanks for joining us. It should be an exciting finish here. We had a lot of green flag racing early on, and now cautions breed cautions, as we hear that saying, and it's true. And now we've had two, and quite quickly together as well. But right now we have 12 laps remaining, and we're crossing the bricks there. So we're on lap 45 now of 56. Lights are out, so we will resume with 11 laps to go. We're looking to see if the 88 comes up or not. Well, we will be starting with 10 to go, so it's right on the line, and so it is inside 10 laps, and we're at 10. There we see. That's what I thought. So I just took him a little extra time to get to the front there after making the pit stop. So Joe Cutt, one last stab at lead lap here with just a few laps remaining. Robert Bokum is our leader. He'll lead us down to our hopefully final green flag wave of the night. Points leader doing what he needs to do. The 19 of Troy Higgins right on his back bumper. Troy starting 16th. He's up to second, and he's looking to get a win. He had bad luck with a blown motor last week, and I believe he was in either first or second when it happened. So he's definitely a threat. Robert knows that. Robert knows Troy is off to a tremendous start, maybe the best start of his Pro Cup career, and he's keeping that going, and that's really nice to see. That shows that it's not a fleeting thing, and it's certainly not for Troy Higgins. So he'll start second, and Joe Cut on the inside. Green flag is out, and Robert leading them down. Robert able to clear Joe Cutter there and come out to a nice little lead. There's 19 Troy Higgins now in second. Joe Cutt, of course, right ahead of him, one lap down. 29 Jeff Hale in third. Doug Tevick up to fourth. From that little melee there, some of those cars took advantage of some slower cars and got around there. We see the 51 though making the pass. Nice pass by the 51 car, Dave Jandry. So there's Dave Jandry coming back strong. And he's up to fourth place. Doug Tevick back to fifth place. But Doug coming back from a nice run, coming back from that spin. So great job by Doug here into the top five. And that's quite an accomplishment. 303 Ken Ron, Sean Johnson right there as well. Pops Margison. Remember we saw him kind of falling back a little during that long period of green racing, but he's right back there. He's up in the top 10 again. 151 of Guy Petra. Led a few laps earlier on as well. He's up in the top 10 and 9th, and rounding out the top 10, Sam Young, who had that little bump with Mark DeCenza that unfortunately ended Mark's night when he got into the wall. But Sam looking to get back up into that front there. We knew he was fast, so there might be a little damage as well. So we'll see how that works out for Sam. 83 is Steve Weber, and the 7 car, Michael Galloon. They're right there as well. And there's 96 who got his lap back, and the 17 also, who was in an earlier incident. I don't know if he's a little off the pace or if he's just content to drive where he is. But he was involved in a little earlier incident, T-Roy, and could be a little damage there. But the 18 car, Robert Bokum, is our leader. Now we see the 88 car of Joe Cutter falling behind the top 3 now. So 19 of Troy Higgins now closing up quickly on Robert Bokum. And I'm telling you, man, the 19 car is having a tremendous season. And he's giving Robert Bokum a whole mirror full here as we're inside of 10 laps, of course. And there goes the 19 making an inside move. Let's see what the 29 does. And that's important here at Indy. You got to have friends. Side by side is very difficult here. And there's a little contact, Robert, into the outside wall. But he keeps the momentum going. There was a little, it looked like a little door-to-door there with Troy Higgins as the pass was being made. And Robert did a great job there of keeping the car under him. And now he's going to try to make a move under the 29. So Robert's going to be up on that wheel now. I know it. Oh, I know it. And as Admiral Yamamoto said after the Japanese bomb Pearl Harbor, I fear we may have awakened the sleeping giant. And unless there's damage to Robert Bokum's car, I don't count him out at all. And when a wall gives him a challenge, I think that just steals him even more as the 29 car makes an inside move on the 19. So now we got another battle for the lead, and that will help the 18 stay right with him. Now who will he support? Of course, the 19, his teammate, Troy Higgins, pushed him. And he's still out in the lead, but Troy way up in the gray almost there. You see that darker color pavement. That's where you want to be. And Troy was up in the lighter colored stuff, and he did a great job of holding on to that car. But all this racing here at the front between the 19, the 29, and the 18 has brought Dave Jandry into the mix as well. So Dave appreciates the battles at the front. He asked if they will continue to battle until he can make up that extra half-second deficit, and then he'll be very grateful. And as we go back through the field, we see that no one's really out of it here. Sean Johnson, showing in 6th place here, he's closing in on him as well. We're down to lap 51 of 56, so we're almost to the end here. 5 laps remaining. Joe cut their lap down, but even in that melee, he was able to close back in on this leader. And so you see Joe has a very fast car. Just got caught a lap down during that green flag. Then caution came out during the second stint of green flag stops. And Joe, of course, was an early pitter, and he got trapped a lap down. He just been fighting all night since then to get it back. But we see the 19 of Troy Higgins is still our leader, but he cannot get away from the 29 or the 18. They're both right there. Robert Bokum falling back just a tick. Hopefully damage isn't playing a role there. But Robert did get into the wall, and I'm sure there is some damage. Whether damage affects you 100% to just a bit is very dependent on what the game decides. So it looks like he's able to keep up into the draft with Jeff Hale and still right there. And Joe Cutt, of course, behind him can support him as well, keeping him in the sandwich there, so to speak. And that's where you want to be when you have a damaged car, so you get the best aerodynamics. See that second pack there of 51, the 303, and the 5. They're desperately trying to catch this lead pack, and they're making very good progress, I think, here. And let's look at the time intervals. We see that Sean Johnson was, Dave Jandry was about a half second, and that continues to be the case. So maybe a little deceiving. He's about 6/10 now. He was maybe 6/10, so just fractions of a second better right now. So that lead pack and this second pack keeping pace with each other, but we can see as now we could continue to go forward. There we see that little gap, and it looks to me like it's closing. Numbers be damned, it looks like it's closing to me. And we see the 151 also has latched on nicely to the back of that pack. So now we got 4 cars there and a 4-car front. So 4 against 4 now. We'll see if the leaders get the race and what will happen. Continues to lead. 19 car Troy Higgins is continuing to be our leader now. And with the caution out on lap 55, Troy Higgins will be your winner. Don't know what happened there. We see Pops a little behind the rest of the field. I don't know if that was a factor. Here we see some smoke there. And there we see maybe what happened here. 69 Doug Tevick in the 7 car, Michael Gallone. There we see Michael. Ouch is all I can say there. Yeah, Michael tried to make a late inside move and difficult way to pass here at Indy, and the result is Doug is out of the race with heavy damage. I'm sure that car was blowed up right there from that hit. Safer barriers. There we see our safer barrier, so hopefully Doug's okay. But that was a hard hit. Hard hit. But that being said, this will finish under caution. And our winner will be the 19 of Troy Higgins. So great job by Troy. Man, what a start to the season. Just an awesome job. And as we finally complete the last lap, Troy Higgins is your Brickyard winner. So congratulations to the 19 car. Jeff Hale with a great drive and finished second. What a great battle between the three of them. A little contact, but Robert Bokum kind of clipped the wall and kept the foot down on the pedal, and had that caution not come out, and maybe Jeff made an inside move, and Robert would have been right there ready to pounce, it looked like still. But he'll bring it home third. Dave Jandry fourth, and Sean Johnson fifth. So again, Bokum Motorsports, 3 in the top 5. Good finishing numbers for Team Bokum. Of course, 29 car of Jeff Hale's Slim Sim Racing. So he'll cash in some points for them as well, some team points, as will the 51 of Dave Jandry. Slim Sim places both their cars in the top 5. The other 3 spots in the top 5 occupied by Bokum Motorsports. So 2 teams take the top 5. And then looking at 6 through 10 there, Kenron, also Bokum Motorsports, 151 of Guy Petra, Monsoon, Sam Young, Team FSB. 83 is Steve Weber from Monsoon, so Team Monsoon gets 2 top 10s, and Team FSB also gets 2 top 10s. So some good scoring there by the teams. 98 of Sam Young brings it home 8th. 83 Steve Weber 9th, and boss man Jim Ray will cash in a top 10. Fighting his way back onto the lead lap, a little contact, but good hard racing there, and that's what happens, and that sometimes happens. The 7 car brings it home in 11th, another quality finish for the rookie. The 17 of T-Roy fought back from some earlier incident and stayed on the lead lap and got a 12th place finish. 99 of Pops Margerson rounds out our lead lap cars in 13th, and Joe Cutt, the only car lap down, and he battled for that lap for about the last quarter of the race, but just couldn't get it back. And then, of course, unfortunately, the 2 retirements, the incident we just saw, the 69 of Doug Tevick, 15th, and Mark DeSenza, unfortunately, will finish 16th here from the pole. But that does not take away by any means a tremendous win by the 19 of Troy Higgins. Some hard racing there at the end with Robert Bokum. There was a little contact, completely unintentional, of course, being teammates. There may have even been communication. Hopefully we'll be able to talk to Troy briefly. Very difficult to do donuts here at Indy with the tight track. So don't wreck the car too badly here, Troy, in your celebrations. But a great win by Troy Higgins. Quality finishes by, as I said, Team Slim Sim and Team Bokum. They're really impressive. Off to a great start to the season. But the real story to the Pro Cup season is this car right here, the 19 of Troy Higgins. Just won Daytona and just hasn't looked back. And another quality win. And there we see our official standings. We just recapped them, so I won't bore you with saying the names again. But you can pick out your favorite driver. There's where they finished. Congratulations to Big T, Troy Higgins, T-Hig, T-Roy, and T-Hig. Of course, they're both names T-Roy, but if we can only have one T-Roy, and or we'd get confused, and Milt would not know who anyone's talking about, and we don't want to confuse Milty any more than he already is. So we called the 17 T-Roy, call the 19 T-Hig, or Troy Higgins. So we're looking to get a couple guys up here. I think we'll be joined by Jeff Hale here briefly, and we'll also see if we can get in our winner, Troy Higgins. Right now he's in the racing channel, probably getting some congrats, so we'll let him get those right now. But we are joined by our second place finisher, and that is the 29 car, Jeff Hale. Some hard fighting there at the end, Jeff, and unfortunately the caution maybe robbed you of one last chance at passing, but a quality finish.
Yeah, Troy drove a good race. I got under him one time, and I think he slipped up a little bit coming out of, I think it was 4, I'm not sure, but he had Robert behind him to help push him back by, so good thing to have teammates there to help out in situations like that. But yeah, we had a good run. I don't know if I would have got him there at the end. He was pretty strong. Hate to see Mark go out like he did too. He had the car to beat, I believe.
Yeah, Mark led a ton of laps to start that race, and man, I'm talking about a lot of green flag laps, and then, you know, like the old saying, as I said during the broadcast, cautions breed cautions. We had a couple of quickies there, and that maybe put fuel strategy and tires kind of out the window there.
Yeah, it sure did, and I got lucky on the one caution. I was on pit road when the caution come out, so I was able to get good track position, and once I got that, just tried to stay there until the end. And like I say, me and Troy had a good battle there at the end. It's a lot of fun. Another great win for him. Looks like he's going to be the man to beat this year in this series, so congrats to him.
Yeah, and that's you know, he got his first Pro Cup win with the Daytona win to start the season, and now all of a sudden he's got 2 wins and he blew up, leading another race. How about exploding onto the season here, Jeff?
Yeah, there's a lot of eyes on Troy. He's doing a great job this season, and real happy for him. It's going to be fun to watch the way this thing folds out here at the end of the season. And just a reminder to everybody, I'll be having surgery here this coming Friday, so I'll be MIA for a little while. Sure going to miss you guys, but I'll definitely be watching the broadcast for sure.
Well, we'll definitely be thinking about you, and of course, you know, doing those kind of things. Of course, nervous time for everyone, I'm sure. So we'll all be thinking about you, and I'll certainly give you a shout out there in the broadcast. So you definitely won't be forgotten. And when you're ready to go, like you said, good rehab is driving.
That's right.
All right, Jeff. Well, thanks for joining us. Congrats on the second place finish. Good luck, man, and we'll stay in touch, and we'll look forward to talking to you when you get back.
Sounds good. Hey, Troy, great run. Good win.
Hey, thank you, Jeff. That was fun racing there, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, and we're joined by our race winner and juggernaut of the Pro Cup season, Troy Higgins, man. What a great run, man. Back to front.
Yeah, I had to do it for the hometown fans there here, coming from the Indianapolis area.
Man, was there a little home track advantage going on there that no one else knew about, or what?
No, I logged a lot of laps there, so.
Yeah, just a great run.
One of my favorites, so I appreciate it.
Did you obviously you elected not to qualify. Is that just something that you like to do personally, or was there a reason?
No, I just kind of got in late, didn't have my settings where I wanted them, so I just decided to start in the back.
So
I can work my way up to the field there.
Yeah, obviously you and your crew chief there worked together and got that car better and better and better. And what about that battle at the end there between you and Robert? Almost ended in Jeff saying thanks for giving me a win.
Yeah, I know it was close there. Like I said, I want to thanks Robert there. Helped me push me past Jeff there at the end there. Jeff got a good run on me there. I tapped the inside wall and thought I pretty much gave the race there at that time, and then
Yeah, it looked like Robert gave you a big push again, and you were rim riding there at Indy. And I was saying, man, you were up in the gray looking stuff, and that's a tough way to go around Indy, but you pulled it off, man. And I think that was the big moment there.
Yes, it was. Yeah, that was fun racing. Good clean racing there with Jeff.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it was real clean racing you, Troy. And like I said, I knew when I got under you, I might would have had a chance, but then when I seen Robert get up behind you, and I just knew it was just going to be a battle to just try and stay out in front. But good job by him, and like I say, great job by you. It's like you're going to have a great season, so congrats to you.
All right, I appreciate it again.
yeah, congrats to both of you. Thanks for coming up, Troy. And man, I think we're gonna have to maybe get you your own spot here in the booth, because without that blow up, you would have been here 3 out of 4 races.
Yeah, like I said, I can't thank Baca Motorsports again and starting the second team and put me in some good equipment this year. So
yeah,
got me back up front.
Awesome, and yeah, it's great to see. I love seeing some new faces there battling the ones that we always know are the best. And with Matt Watkins running a reduced schedule, that left maybe one of those top runners out of the mix. So good to see you're taking advantage of it, and I hope to see you continue that success.
All right, I appreciate it again.
And
thanks, guys.
Also thanks for Jeff joining us, and look forward to our Friday night broadcast at for the Winston Cup Series. That's at California, so that's a good track. Got a little preview of it last night, and it's going to be a fast track, and it's a driver's track. So hopefully another big field, and catch that broadcast.